before we get out of here. So how many of y'all enjoyed the Robersons again? Enjoyed what? So I am grateful to God for what they have deposited into our lives. Last night, the Cutters, of course, they dealt with dealing with things that dealt with the body. And the Robersons this morning dealt with things that dealt with the spirit. And me and my wife, we're going to deal with some practical things that deals with the mind and the soul. And so we want to do our best to deposit some things into your lives on today. Now, first of all, everyone should have a handout, a fill-in sheet. We want you guys to be able to follow along with us for that and be able to go along with us as we make our presentation. I'm back in teaching this year. I'm teaching at the high school level, so I love teaching God's Word. I love teaching people. It's something I enjoy doing. So I'm going to do my best to give you things that hopefully you'll be able to apply to your marriages and to your families whenever you leave this resort and you go back home and you get back into the world. My wife, we had, this past February, we just celebrated 21 years of marriage. We're grateful to God for that. And again, I am godly proud of my wife. Again, she has worked extensively with our marriage retreat and putting it together and losing sleep and talking to people and conversing with people to help to make this possible. And I want to say to all of you, thank you so much for entrusting us with your marriages and allowing us to make some type of deposit into your lives. Again, this is our 11th year doing this. And actually, when we did the first marriage retreat 11 years ago, it was our first time going to a marriage retreat. So when we put one together, it was actually also our first time attending one. And we've had countless number of couples that have been impacted greatly by this time. I know I've been talking like, I'm going to let you share some stuff and let you just kind of throw some stuff out here.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm just excited to be here. Thank you for our brothers and sisters in the faith, Pastor Cutter and Pastor Robertson. We're really appreciative. We have great things in store, and I know we're on a time crunch, so we hope everyone actually got a handout. Did everyone get one of the handouts? Did everyone get one of the prayer guides? Everyone has one? Okay, awesome. No, could we get one for Pastor Cutter?
Okay, they do one of each. All right, cool.
Okay. And we're just going to spend a few moments on talking about the practical side of marriage, how we take the spirit and bring it into practice, how we can do that on a daily basis to bring heaven on earth. Sometimes we get the word of God and we get the prophetic utterances, but when we get home, we're like, okay, now, how do we practice this? How do we put this into motion? So that's what we're going to talk about on today. Renewing our minds and how to practically put into practice those things that we learn.
Can I get someone to close that door for me real quickly? Thank you so much. One of the first things we want to share with you guys, we try to give you guys some practical things and some things that are tangible and concrete in that door too. I just want you to hit that door for me. We have book recommendations. Are there any readers in the room? Anybody love reading books and things that will hopefully, I always believe that there's no way you can be a leader without being a reader. And one of the ways you can really make a great deposit into your marriage is through the mode of reading. And so we want to share some books with y'all that has greatly impacted our lives. One is The Exemplary Husband. And this has been a guide for me for many of years. I bought this a number of years ago. We used it in our Sunday school class, men's Sunday school class as well, at our church for a little bit. And if you're like me, I grew up without an exemplary husband in my family. I didn't have a great example in my home, raised by a single mom for most of my life. And so this really has given me the blueprint on how a husband should conduct himself and how he should walk as a godly husband and a godly father. Great tool. If you're a husband, you want to make this investment. There's also a book, we didn't put up here, there's also a book called The Exemplary Wife. You can make that investment too as well. It'll really, really bless you. The second book is Love and Respect by Dr. Emerson Eggerichs. You really will be blessed by that book too as well. Number 3, the third book, many of you have heard of it before, The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. That is a book that is well known around the world, has sold millions of copies. And then there's some other books, 10 Lessons to Transform Your Marriage by John and Julie Gottman. Actually, if you Google that book, you will find there's actually a free PDF of that book online. And it's a great resource for you too as well. It'll really, really bless you. And then His Needs, Her Needs by Willard Harlan. It'll really bless you too as well. And then also we wanted to give you guys, because we know not everybody is in the books. Many of you though are into media, listening to things and watching things. And so we wanted to give you some messages that you can find on YouTube, you can find online, that we think will really enrich you. Of course, there's hundreds, if not thousands of videos you can watch that'll really bless you. But one I want to share with you is Relationship Goals by Craig Groeschel. It'll really bless you. He is a great pastor, great leader in Oklahoma. Number 2 is The Dangers of a Successful Marriage by Pastor John K. Jenkins. These you can just search on YouTube. And all of these messages are on YouTube. Kingdom Marriage by Tony Evans, and we're going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. 5 Ways to Get a Grip on Your Marriage by T.D. Jakes. And How to Make Your Marriage Work by the wonderful, who's gone on to be with the Lord, great prophet, man of God, is Miles Monroe. So they can really bless you, and I want to encourage you, while you're getting ready in the morning, while you're brushing your teeth, while you're ironing those clothes, it'd be something great for you to play during that time. A lot of us, you got the technology where you can cast your phone up onto your TV. Instead of watching CNN or Fox News for 45 minutes and going to work mad, watch something that'll really enhance you and develop you, and these will be some great resources for you. And I'm telling you, it'll really, really bless you in a great way. So take advantage of that, and I think that'll really, really bless you. It'll really help you out. So, and I know my wife, she also listens to stuff all the time. You got some other secret stuff you want to throw out too?
The Word of God.
The
Word of God. I mean, get your Bible, get an audio version.
That's that holiness Pentecostal coming out of my wife. Just get your Bible out. It'll fix everything.
Holiness straight up.
See holiness. One drum in the corner, one bass drum in the other corner. The piano don't even work in the church. That's the church you grew up in. The tambourine. And only 2 cymbals on the tambourine. All of them fell off. I'm like, just go buy a new tambourine. It don't even work no more.
And there are many resources out there. Proverbs 31 Women, Focus on the Family. There are Jimmy Evans and his ministry, many different ministries out there. Tony Evans, I love his ministry. It's been a great impact in our marriage. And that's some of the resources we're handing out today, the prayer guide. So those are just some resources we wanted to share with you all today.
Okay, so let's get into this. We're talking about game changers and how small things can make a big difference. So let's get right into it. Something, first of all, you want to understand is that you need to make your relationship a top priority.
Yes.
It needs to be a top priority in your life. That's not a point just yet, but that's just something we want to destroy out at the beginning. Relationships are like living things. They're either going to grow or they're going to die.
Yes.
Your relationship is either going to grow or it's going to die. When me and my wife got married, she had this wonderful idea of wanting to create a garden in our yard. And she grew up with people in her family that had a garden. I had a great-grandfather who had a garden. He only had a 3rd grade education, but he was an entrepreneur. He would sell greens and put them in paper bags. He'll sell peas. People would stop by and get all kinds of stuff that they would buy from him. And my wife was like, well, if my folks had a garden, your great-granddaddy had a garden, why don't we try a garden? It didn't work. It didn't. We watched all the YouTube videos. We read all the books. And we found out very quickly we didn't have a green thumb. And the reason why is because we didn't put in the effort to till our garden. We didn't put in the effort to make it work. We didn't go in, and we just didn't have that daily grind with it, and eventually it died. It's the same way with your relationship. If you're not going to make it a top priority, if you're not going to put the effort in, it's not going to grow. It's going to begin to die. It's going to begin to die. So you must make your relationship a top priority. The Robersons shared something. Me and my wife started kneeing each other because I was like, how in the world did he steal our notes? This time like this is a time of maintenance for your marriage.
Yes.
They went to talking about maintenance, and I was like, oh God, they're still in our thunder this morning. One thing I've learned, we was talking about it last night with the blockers and while we were sitting in restaurants, that many people are more passionate about getting maintenance on their cars than they do their relationships. Mm-hmm. Many people, as soon as that thing come on, hey, you need an oil change. Hey, you need a tune-up. Hey, you need to get this done. Hey, you need to get alignment on your tires. You need to get this. They'll get all of the maintenance done that they need on their vehicle, but when it comes to getting maintenance done on their marriage, they take no effort at all. Mm-hmm. And that's dangerous. It's really dangerous. While we was getting ready this morning, we brought our printer with us to print up a lot of information, a lot of things you guys have. Our room kind of looks like an office right now. And I was printing up the package that you guys have. And when it got through printing up the prayer package that y'all have, there was a message that came up on the screen that said, your printer is now ready for maintenance. And I was like, okay. And it said, and it gave two options. It said, press OK in order for it to go into maintenance mode and begin the maintenance on it, make sure the ink cartridges are okay and they're aligned and all of that stuff. Or it gave another option that said that you can defer the maintenance. Now, in parentheses, it also said this. It says, if you defer the maintenance, you could possibly begin to have some interruptions and begin to have some problems with the printer. The problem is that too many people in their relationships, you are deferring your maintenance. Anytime you defer maintenance, you are setting yourself up for some problems. You're setting yourself up for some problems. We've been doing these marriage retreats for 11 years. We teach on marriage. It's a big part of our ministry. It's a big part of our passion in the kingdom. And even still, and yet we have to make sure that we're doing, proper and timely maintenance on our own marriage. We have to make sure that we're praying with each other. We have to make sure that we're being kind to one another. We have to make sure that we're treating each other right. We have to make sure all of these things that we're hearing taught at this retreat, this is stuff that we have to apply to our lives as well. Yes. And so it is major. Now, the Cutters said something too last night. I think it was Lady Sam said, don't panic. If you ever go through something in your relationship, ever go through something in your marriage, one of the things you don't want to do is don't panic. Here's something I learned, Brother Oliver, is a few years ago, is that even in good marriages, you can have bad times. And this is what I'm learning that a lot of people cannot discern. There's a difference. Elder Jackson, there's a difference between a bad moment and a bad marriage. And a lot of people are walking out on marriages just because you had a bad moment. Just because you lost the car doesn't mean you had a bad marriage. Just because your house got foreclosed on doesn't mean you have a bad marriage. Just because your son went to prison doesn't mean you have a bad marriage. Just because you got fired from your job doesn't mean you have a bad marriage. It might just be a bad moment. When you read through the book of Genesis, Abraham had a whole bunch of bad moments. He had a whole bunch of bad moments. Hagar and Ishmael was a bad moment, man. When he went down to Egypt, it was a bad moment. Yes, sir. It was a bad moment. It was a bad moment when he lied and told the Pharaoh that it was his sister when it really was his wife. When he told, say, hey, Sarah's my sister, it really was his wife. You know, it was bad moments. It was bad moments. You see all through Scripture, people that was greatly and mightily used by God had bad moments. Don't walk out and don't panic on something just because you had a bad moment. It doesn't mean that you have a bad marriage. Work your way through it. Pray your way through it. Get counsel. Call for help. scream for help, do whatever you got to do, but don't give up just because you had a bad moment.
Yes, sir. Good. Yes, sir.
Don't do it. Please don't do it. Please don't do it. We have to make minor adjustments. I wrote down minor adjustments can break generational curses.
Yes.
Sometimes it's just doing the small things. Do you not know, me and my wife, we love traveling. We love going to hotels. Our favorite hotel in the world is the Ritz-Carlton. I don't care what Ritz-Carlton you go to. It's our favorite hotel in the world is the Ritz-Carlton. This is something I found out, though. This is something we learned one time while we was at the Ritz-Carlton in Amelia Island. There is not much difference between the Ritz-Carlton and the Red Roof Inn. They both got beds. They both got TVs. They both got showers. You want to know the difference between the Ritz-Carlton and the Red Roof Inn? The Ritz-Carlton do small things well. It's the small things that make the big difference. It's the small things. Sometimes in our marriages, we're not willing to do the small things. Lady came to our room last night, and this is the first time this ever happened. I don't know if this happened to y'all while y'all was here. It was a nice lady, nice, beautiful lady that was the maid, housekeeping. She came to the door and she said, y'all want to turn down tonight? And I was like, what? I was like, turn down for what? I was like, turn down for what? I've never had somebody do that in that room. She came to the door and she had chocolates and she was like, do y'all want to turn down tonight? I'm from little old Lake Butler and stuff, and country like that. I had never heard that happen before. And then I had to ask my wife. I went to her, I was like, what does turn down mean? Like, is that drinking? Or, what is that? She explained to me what that means. You turn up, or what is it? But it's small things like that. It's small things. It's like the Ritz-Carlton. You go to a Ritz-Carlton, it always blows our mind. You ever go to a Ritz-Carlton, when you go up to the door, they already know your name. We have not figured that out yet. We haven't figured it. We walked to the door. We went to the Ritz-Carlton one time. It was in the mid-island before, and they have these nice bubbly drinks when you walk through. And I'm not talking about, like virgin drinks. I'm talking about they have nice bubbly drinks. And we walk up there and they're like, how are you doing, Mrs. Maxwell? How are you doing, Mr. Maxwell? And then you get up to the desk. They know your name. They know things about you and all of these different things. How was your trip from Lake Butler? How was the ride on I-95? How was the ride coming down County Road 239? All of these different things. You go to the Red Roof Inn. Hold on, let me get off this phone. We got somebody up here who need a room. How can I help you? Now see here, I ain't got all day now, okay? All right, check-in time is 3. You got here at 5, and you want an extra towel? I mean, come on now. No, we don't have reward points here. No, we don't have that. At AAA, we don't even know where AAA is. I'm sorry. It is what it was priced when you called the number. No, we ain't got Starbucks in here. We ain't got that in here. No, you got to go down the road to Publix or something and get you some coffee. It's the small things. When it comes to your marriage, are you willing to do the small things? Sometimes you can be so concentrated on doing the big things that you take no time to do the small things. Waking up and telling your wife you love her, asking her how she's doing. You heard Sister Cutter last night, helping take the groceries out the back of the car. Helping to wash the car. Not sitting in the car while your wife is pumping the gas.
Say that again, sir.
Yeah, not sitting in the car and you going through your social media while your wife is pumping the gas.
Yes, sir.
It's raining and you got an umbrella just for you.
Come on, sir.
You fixing your plate and going and sitting down and 4 other people ain't got a plate yet. And you don't even care about helping out and asking your wife and saying, baby, do you want me to help you with the dishes? Do you want me to help you to serve the drinks? Do you want me to help you to fix everybody else's plate? It's the small things.
Come on, sir.
It's the small things. It's the small things. Oh, I can help you to iron the clothes this morning, baby. Let me iron that for you. You want me to vacuum? I'd love to. Let me vacuum that for you. It's the small things. You want me to go shopping with you? Let me go shopping with you. It's the small thing. Baby, what do you want to watch tonight? What do you want to watch tonight? It's the small things. And if you're not willing to do the small things, sometimes your marriage can begin to get out of alignment. Before you know it, it's like that car that's driving. You take your hands off the steering wheel, it starts veering right because the alignment is bad. And that's what happens. So we have to be willing to do the small things. Before we get into this, you want to throw out some stuff. Let's hop right into this. Number 1, you must fortify your marriage spiritually. You must fortify your marriage spiritually. A godly family doesn't happen automatically. And let me say this, just because you go to church don't mean you got a godly family. Doesn't mean you have a godly family just because you go to church. It takes more than that. With me and my wife, we want to do something a little bit different, and we want to help y'all out a little bit more. Every couple in here, you should have a packet. You should have a Tony Evans 30 Days Marriage Prayers packet. I'm going to challenge y'all to do this. I'm going to challenge you to do it. Hopefully you will. There's 30 days of prayers and 30 days, and there's short devotions. Do we have any more? Do we have any more, Brother Clarence? Or you have to share. Jackson's needing one? Okay. Do we? Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay. Now, let me let y'all know also as well. If you are on Facebook, if you have liked the Impact Marriage Facebook page, we released it on there this morning too as well. So for those of you that like it digitally, if you go on Facebook, Impact Ministries. If you liked it, you will see that we posted on there too as well. You can look at it on your phone every morning. It's real short, just about 2 or 3 minutes. Yes, sir. Oh, if you can hold it to the end, we'll give you a chance. We've made it so simple for you. You can read that with your wife or your husband in the morning. Take about 2 or 3 minutes. It will take about 2 or 3 minutes. So, and I will encourage you, to make it real simple for you, to go by the date of the month. Like, say, for instance, today is the 4th. You will go to the number 4 on there. And, when it starts over, when it gets to June 1st, just go back to number 1. It's practical things like this a lot of times we don't do in our families. Practical things like this we don't do in our families and do in our couples. My wife said something to me that really helped me out about 3 or 4 years ago. She said, when you pray with me, it feels like you're making love. I said, oh my God. Let me tell you something. That revolutionized our home. I try to pray as much as I can now. Tell them how that makes you feel when I pray with you. Let them know because I think and you ain't got to tell you ain't got to be too graphic. But because I think husbands a lot of times don't understand how. And Pastor Roberson said something about if we don't know how to worship, the whole love-making thing is kind of almost it doesn't work as good. So tell us a little bit.
When the husband prays over his wife, you're actually inviting heaven into your home. You're inviting heaven into your marriage. You're opening up heaven over not only just the two of you, but your entire family. You find a safe place. Women find a safe place when they know that they're cherished by their husbands. When their husbands will set aside everything else to take them by the hand or wrap them in the arms and say, God, we need you. It's a safe place. You become our ark of safety. When we feel like we're strengthened, when our husbands not only can just wrap their muscles around us, but they can wrap the spiritual part around us as well. When we know that we can lay our head on our husbands, it's like laying our heads on the bosom of the Lord.
Wow.
Saying, okay, God, you got me.
Wow.
See, the husband represents Jesus. And when I can physically go to my husband and say, hey, I'm fearful right now, or I'm sick right now, or this is what's going on in the house right now. It's like I can't physically touch God, but I can touch God through my husband.
That's right.
When he's in place and he's able to say, Gina, God's got us, it reassures me.
Right.
The Holy Spirit stands up to me and says, okay, your husband just spoke life to you.
Wow.
Your husband just spoke heaven to you. So when a husband prays over a wife, the enemy has to step back.
Wow.
Because Jesus Christ has now stood up on the earth realm through our husbands. Through our husbands, we can actually feel the presence of God. We can actually get in touch with heaven because our husbands have taken their ordained places in our homes. And when we sit back and we say, cover me, usher me into the presence of the Lord, it makes a woman feel safe. It makes a woman feel like they are now getting everything they need from God.
So husbands, that's why we should pray for and pray with our wives.
Yes.
Because you just hearing that lets you know what it does for your wife emotionally and spiritually.
Yes.
Okay? All right, we're going to move on. Number 2, learn to make terms with each other.
Yes.
Learn to make terms. Terms, T-U-R-N-S. Terms. No, not terms, not T-E-R-M-S. Terms, like turning left or turning right. I'm explaining that. I'm explaining what we mean by that. This is something we've seen for a number of years. In relationships, you're going to have terms. What are terms? You lose a job. You lose a loved one. You might lose a possession. Child graduates. Child is born. Wife graduates from college. She gets a job, and now she's making more than the husband. Amen. Amen. Let us give you an example. A lot of those types of things happen in a relationship, but the other spouse doesn't know how to turn with the other. Let me give you an example. Who in here you've ever ridden a motorcycle, or who has a motorcycle, or motorcycle riders? I'm going to give you an example. Come up here behind me. Come on, just stand behind me. If you've ever ridden a motorcycle and you had someone to ride with you, they will always tell you when you make a turn, if the person behind you doesn't turn with you, you can cause an accident. You can flip off of that motorcycle. For instance, if I'm riding a motorcycle, we're going down the road, we're going around a curve, we're turning. She must turn with me. Because if she continues to stay upright, or if she goes right while I'm going left, what could happen is we can flip the motorcycle because my weight is turned left and her weight is turned right, and then all of a sudden the gravity pull on the motorcycle can cause us to flip, and it can be a devastating thing, and we can both end up losing our lives. So I turn left, she's got to turn left with me. I turn right, she's got to turn right with me. And what happens is that in that relationship, if you got two people that don't know how to turn with each other, you can kill both of yourselves. But what happens is a lot today, you have one person in a relationship, they do something or become successful, or they have a great achievement, and the other person, they don't turn with them. They don't celebrate with them. They don't value what has happened in their life. They don't really, make that turn with them. And then all of a sudden, it becomes a fight between the two of them, and they really don't just coagulate with each other. And all of a sudden, because they don't turn right together, all of a sudden it breaks down the marriage. And in this room, you might be a couple, and you might be in a marriage where one person's turned right and you're still turning left. You must learn to make turns with each other. You must learn to make turns with each other. If not, you're going to devastate not only you, you're going to devastate your children. You're going to devastate, like you heard Pastor Robertson say, 11 years from now, your grandchildren. You must learn to make turns with each other. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? Amen. All right, let me move on, because we got some other things we want to share with you. Number 3, don't make derogatory comments, insults, and belittling remarks.
That's right. That's right.
Your words are powerful.
That's right.
Don't make derogatory comments, insults, and belittling remarks. It's amazing how you can be so nice. You got a job at a restaurant and you're so nice to everybody that comes in, but you get home and you're mean as a wop. You're so kind to everybody else around you, but when you come home, it's like a UFC fight every day. And that's bad. That's bad. You know, when you put your partner down, when you put your spouse down, you're causing damage. You must choose to break habits that damage the relationship, especially with your words. You got to be careful with your words. You got to be careful with your remarks. Okay? Number 4. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Scripture is very, very clear on.
I told y'all she gonna give y'all Bible now. I told y'all she gonna give y'all some Bible.
Because the Word of God brings life. And Proverbs 15:1 has become one of my life verses.
Right.
It's very powerful. It says, "A gentle," and my sister said the scripture earlier, Lady Yolanda. Proverbs 15:1 it says, "A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger."
Mm-hmm.
Ladies, we have power in the way we speak to our husband and our children. You know, you can make your husband feel like a king, or you can make him feel like a kid.
Wow.
All in the way you talk to him.
Wow.
You can make him feel honored or dishonored. All in the way you speak to him. Okay, scenario. This is the way you don't.
Come on.
Tyrone! Didn't I tell you to get in here and take this trash out? This trash going all over the house. You can't smell it. What's wrong with you? My mama told me you was lazy. I shouldn't have married you in the first place.
Let me say this. Let me say this too as well. A lot of times I watch how spouses will belittle their husbands in public.
Ooh, tear them down.
You're at church, you talking, or not at church, just in a public place, and you're saying, "Oh, that's just Roger. He don't know what he be talking about. I have to help him with everything." That's your husband. You belittling your husband in front of your friends. You at the family reunion, or you at the wedding, you're at the gathering. Look at him. Roger don't even know how to dress. Look at him. He don't even know how to match nothing. I tell you, that's why God sent me to marry him. And he hears that stuff like that. Then we wonder why our men are so voiceless.
Wow.
Because you've stolen their voice. Your belittling remarks does nothing but cause him to go into a cave that he will lock and throw away the key to. So you have to be careful with your remarks. Build them up, encourage him,
Yes.
defend him.
That's right. Even if he's not there yet.
Do it.
Even if he's not there yet.
Do it.
He's not perfect.
Exactly.
Find the areas where he is strong and you magnify it.
My husband can cut the best grass in the whole world. Nobody can cut grass like my husband. When he make them lines and them rolls in this grass, girl, let me tell you, it looks like the Masters tournament. TPC landscapers ain't got nothing on my husband, girl.
Yeah.
When he waxed that car, it looks like something at an exhibition somewhere.
That's right.
I'm telling you, nobody can hammer a nail like my husband. I'm telling you, girl, when he hits that nail, nobody can hit it like him.
Yeah.
My husband is the best coach. When he's out there with that football team, I'm telling you, girl, he gets that team right.
Yeah.
I know they ain't won a game yet, but let me tell you, he gets it right. lonely. You gotta know how to find that thing, and you gotta know how to speak well of your husband. I don't care if it's one small thing. You gotta make him your king. You gotta make him your king. You gotta speak well of him in front of everybody.
You gotta pull it out of it.
And quit complimenting somebody else's spouse without first complimenting your spouse. You liking and commenting everybody else's selfie on social media, but you won't even say how good your own spouse looks.
Wow.
Okay, we'll move away from that. Let's move on to number 4. Let go of the desire to fix or change your partner. Hopefully you didn't pay your investment to be here, because we don't see it as a fee, we see it as an investment. Hopefully you didn't pay whatever you paid to be here, because you got in the back of your mind, ooh, I just got to have my spouse here so I can get them changed. Except that you cannot change anybody but yourself.
That's right.
Focus on changing and improving you first. Okay? Please do that. Let go of the desire to fix or change your partner. Okay? And then number 5, learn to be fully present. Quit paying $100 to go out to eat and you spend all of that time on the phone while you're in there eating. Me and my wife, we went, what was it? It was St. Augustine, we was at Embassy Suites. We was thinking about possibly in the future having maybe the marriage retreat there and checking it out there. So we went, they invited us to come visit, spend a night and check it out. And there's a nice restaurant in there. And there was a nice couple that sat beside us in the restaurant for a whole hour. They both was like this on their phones. The whole hour. Not present at all. And I said, why in the world would they spend this money to be here and not be present in the moment? Not be present in the moment. We have so many distractions today. The technology, you know, and I have to confess because I'm a techie, and so, but many times the technology that we have today that we think connects us with the world, can many times disconnect us from one another.
That's right.
And be present in the moment. Be present in the moment.
That's right.
Be fully engaged in your spouse. Look at her. Look, some of you don't even know what the color of your spouse's eyes are. Lord Jesus. Some of you, you don't even know what color shoes your spouse has on right now. Some of you look. All right, she's getting ready for y'all right now. As we talk about being present in the moment, you want to kind of talk to them about what's going on right now, because they don't understand the spirituality. They don't understand the anointing about behind what's going on right now.
Oh, don't do me like that, bro.
Basically, we have a little joke that goes on between the three of us. When that wife put that thing on right there, that means the shop is closed. Always know this. Always know this. They always know this. When my wife put on one of those old church t-shirts, she put on my socks, and she put that thing on her head, I might as well go to sleep. Because all that stuff the cutters done taught, I ain't gonna be able to use it that night. That's what tearing down means. The ugly socks, the church t-shirt, a pair of gym shorts, and a bonnet on her head, we done. Don't even try nothing that night because it done been turned down.
I put myself out here with this song today because I wanted to share with the ladies. Sometimes, you know, we can get so tired and burdened out, but when your husband approaches you and they're really opening up their heart to you, sometimes you have to be present by taking all that stuff off. You know,
Come on.
you don't feel like it
Come
or
on,
what
girl.
have you.
Come on. Come
You
on.
don't feel like you're like, oh, I just want to go to sleep,
Come on.
what have you. But if your husband is coming to you and approaching you and he's laying his heart out to you, or he may not be saying anything, but you can feel it, you feel the tension or what have you, honey, take that thing off your head.
And then
Take
you
it
start
off
playing,
your
then you
head.
start playing, you know, a little something, you know.
Take that stuff off your head.
Take it off your head.
You have to approach.
Okay.
So that you can be present, so that you can meet each other's needs. And when you meet each other's needs, the Holy Spirit can then come in and he can say, God smiles on it when a husband and wife are in agreement and present with each other and not consumed with the weight of the world, not consumed with all the stresses. But when you can be present and intentional with your spouse, letting them know that you matter to me, I respect you, I hear your concerns. Now let's take it to the Lord. And then when you take it to the Lord, then you can get into your feelings and all that. Okay? But take that thing off your head when your husband approaches you.
The bonus is dream together. Dream together.
Yes.
Okay? We enter relationships to build our lives together. We often get caught up in the grind. You heard Lady Samantha talk about all the things we have to do. Take time to dream together about what kind of possibilities you're looking for your family in 10 years from now. Paying your house off. Buying a vacation home somewhere.
Right.
Paying off all of your bills. Maybe building an addition to your house. Dream car. Visiting another country. And you have, I want to challenge you, get out of the mundane of just doing the same thing over and over again. You just go to the same restaurant, you hang around the same people, you do the same vacation every year. Think about doing something different now. Think about doing something different. That's why it's good to be around couples that can challenge you many times to do different things. And you just hang around couples and all they do is tell you about what they don't like. Girl, I don't like going to that kind of restaurant.
Come on, Pastor.
What? What? Girl, if it ain't American, I ain't eating it. I mean, I ain't leaving the United States of America. They might kill you over there, girl. They'll kill you in Jacksonville if you go down the wrong street. You better be packing in Jacksonville. I ain't going over there. They'll kidnap you. Around your corner, they'll kidnap you too. Do some different stuff. Dream together.
That's right.
Something different.
Have vision, yes.
Have a vision. This is what we want to do. Blockers, can y'all help us out? This is our last thing we want to do with y'all. We talk about, and this is where you're going to have to work together. We're going to be done in 7 minutes. We talk about game changers. The last thing we want you to do is come up with a game plan. A game plan. Every great coach, every couple needs one of them. Every couple needs one of those. Every great coach has a game plan. Every great coach. My good friend DT, he's here with his lovely wife, Keisha. He played for the University of Florida when they won the national championship back in '96. Woo-hoo! Woo! I know everybody can't clap for that, but that's okay. He played for Steve Spurrier, and I'm sure he'll tell you, if you talk to him, he will tell you that Steve Spurrier was not just a great talker, but he had a game plan. When they hit that field, they had a plan. You just can't tell your team, well, just go out there and play as hard as you can play. What plays do you have? Phil Jackson had the triangle offense. The great coaches of the Celtics, they had defensive schemes that many teams couldn't figure out. Bill Belichick, he has wonderful offensive schemes with how he uses Tom Brady. I want you to get those open. These are for the pastors. I want y'all to get those open, and we're going to take 5 minutes, and I want you to talk with your spouse about what are some game plans that we can come up with. What it might be paying off debt in 5 years. It might be paying off your debt in 5 years. It might be buying a new home.
Yes.
It might be things like praying every morning at 6 o'clock together. It might be things like you might want to do some things physically, like get in a gym, and you probably want to get in better shape and get in better health or eat differently. What are some game plans you want to do? What are some things you want to do? Maybe you want to get a new job. Maybe you want to go back to college. Maybe you want to go back to college and get another degree. What is your game plan? You just can't live life without a game plan. What is your game plan as a couple? So we're going to give you 5 minutes real quickly to come up with a game plan. I want you to come up with a game plan and some things that you can tangibly see. Some things that you can tangibly see that you can use that will help you to be a game changer. It could be paying off your car. It could be starting to live on a cash-only system. You might want to put your children in a different school. What is your game plan? What is your game plan? I want you to think good of this. Three more minutes. Even if you don't finish, I'm going to want you to take these home with you. While you're sitting at home tomorrow night after church, you can finish up your game plan even tomorrow night. What is your game plan? What is your game plan? Maybe it's investing in some books, reading books together. Communicate. What is your game plan? Y'all are assistant coaches with each other. What help each other out with this game plan. 2 more minutes before we close it. But I don't want you to think this is going to be the end, because I don't want y'all to take these home. So listen, we're running out of time, and this is what I want you to do. Those are yours to keep. This is what we want you to do. Now I want y'all to help me out with this for many of you that can. I want you to take it, for those of you that didn't finish, and I want you to get the whole board filled if you haven't gotten it filled. And what I want you to do is take them home with you, sit down, think about what your game plan is going to be together. What is your game plan 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years, 20, 30? And then I want you to pray over your game plan. I want you to pray over your game plan. Now, here's the thing about a game plan. Every coach knows this, everybody who's played sports, is that sometimes you can play a team and you got to change offense. Sometimes it's a team playing you and, you know, they playing you in a 2-3, you might got to go to a different kind of offense. They playing you in a man-to-man, you got to go to a different kind of offense. Now, with your game plan, you might find out over the years, you might have to change some things. Might have to make some adjustments, but you still got to have a plan. You still got to have a plan. You still got to have a plan. I want to encourage you to come up with a plan. Write the vision and make it plain, the prophet said. You know, it's simple things, it's small things like this often that we don't do as couples that really enhance us and take us to a whole nother level. If you got to put this on your refrigerator, if you got a little room, you can put this in on your bedroom, on the side of the bed, and I want you to go back and revisit your game plan. Now, here's something you'll find out. Not everybody here has the same game plan. Some of us, we have things that are totally different, totally different. Many of us, we're in totally different stages in life. That's why you can never compare your marriage to somebody else's marriage. And quit comparing your marriage to somebody else's marriage that you see edited and filtered on social media. Because there's a whole lot of people that seem happy on social media, but when you talk to them, they don't even know if they're going to make it to December. Something I found out is that the happiest people in the world, when you get to know them, they're not as happy as you thought they were. But you got a game plan. God has given you a vision. God has brought you here this weekend for you to come up with a game plan so you can change your family, change your world, and change your generations. I'm going to ask my wife to pray for us. We're done. I hope y'all been blessed this time as we have gathered together. Let me ask this. Who in here, you would love to come back and you would love to be a part of our marriage retreat again next year? You would love to come back and be a part of what we're going to do. We're not exactly sure which area we're going to be at next couple months. We'll let y'all know what city or what we decide to do. But I want to say thank you for your support. And hopefully you got something that will impact your life in a tremendous way. When we dismiss, of course, again, we have to get out of the rooms if you're planning on checking out today. They've given us a little extra time. So, but we do want to take a picture. Pastors, do we have anything else we need to share? Anything else we need to go over with our people? Chuck, you want to share something?
Y'all give the Maxwells a hand for doing the job.